in good health, in the start of an awesome day, mainly because you are a part of it and you are in it. So, welcome back once again to CD Tates. I just want to continue as we go and as we grow to provide as good a content and information as I possibly can. Here's something really near and dear to me, just in life now that I want to share with you all on this particular podcast and YouTube video. So let me share with you what we're going to talk about today. In simplest of terms, we're going to talk about relationships. Everyone should, at a certain point in their life, have something to share. The question is whether or not you are willing to share it. That's really all that it comes down to. Yes, we have people that dedicate time, that dedicate life to becoming experts. But what about the people that just have the experience of relationships? Couldn't that matter equally as much? So, with that being said, I want to talk about exactly that right there. Just experience, if nothing else. This will be a three-part series, so make sure to tune back in next week for part two, and of course, following that, part three. What is this? This is simply getting a clue. Three things that I look at in relationship development and as you move forward or not. The first thing I will get into on this particular series, and of course, follow up with the next two and three. However, the question is, where do you start with a relationship? I think that's always the question. People sit back sometime if they've never been in a relationship and you think about it, or if you've been out of a relationship and you're trying to get back in it. And again, the question I think never truly changes other than you don't want to have repeated, should I say, outcomes if it did not work out for you the first time or with that particular relationship. What is the end game? What is the goal even going into the relationship? So I guess first you have to meet someone of interest and hope they are interested in you equally as well. So the journey begins there. Let's take that first breath. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As we continue the journey now, this is getting a clue. What is getting a clue, right? In short, that is an acronym, but it starts off with the first word of knowing. I think this becomes one of the most important parts in the development of a new relationship. And in turn, you have to question, what is it really about when you say getting to know it? And that's something to think about in your mind. What is getting to know someone? What is that to you? But in short, I will talk about it from my perspective here because oftentimes that's what it's about. It's how you either perceive, how you look at things, how you listen, and how you learn as well, especially getting into something new with someone. What is knowing to you when it comes to the development of a relationship? It's part of the communication that you have with that person. It's part of the conversation that you have with that person. However, at least know this, if nothing else, the purpose in this relationship. Is it courting or is it dating? Now, if you want to hear a little bit about my aspect of what I think and say courting and dating is, I know that it can differ. I know that some are not going to see it the way that I may say it or see it. And this all could become because of, the differences in the age or the era that we're in. And that's fine. That's okay. But you have to know what it is to you and at the same time know what it is to the other party. This is the knowing. In the acronym CLUE, as in getting a clue, the first word is knowing. And I want to talk a little bit about what that knowing is. To me, it is the point to where you're developing a relationship. How do you develop this relationship? Through conversation, through communication, through time, and things of that nature, just being around a person. It's just not an overnight thing. Again, it takes time. But however, at least know this, if nothing else, know your purpose, know their purpose in either what would be the courting or the dating in pertaining to the relationship. Now, what do you see, first of all? That is something to take into consideration. What draws you to the person? Is it their looks? Is it their intelligence? Their ability to communicate? And this comes with what? Spending time. However, time may not always be in the physical, you understand. It may be just as simple as a text message. It may be just as simple as an email. It may be a FaceTime video or a duo. However, you get to see people when you're distant and afar, just a simple phone conversation. But never leave out the point of being able to spend time together, right? I think that's one of the most important things of ever is, having time for someone. And, you not only want to spend that time with them together, but like I said, oh man, personal time. That's one of the biggest things you really have to consider is what do you look for going into that relationship? What is important to you? Are you looking to say you want to identify everything in a simple conversation first time with someone? No, but there could be key things in there. However, again, let me continue. You want to, in getting to know them, you're looking at building a bond with this person. And, you have to determine what type of bond that is. Is it a good bond? Or is it that bond that people, sometimes say, hey, friend zone. That's one of those words that no one wants to hear, right? You just got befriended because this person does not see you suitable as in possibly being a partner in a relationship. And a partner in a relationship, again, what is their purpose? That's what becomes important. I will continue to talk about that. Now, you in getting to know this person, you understand, you have to be willing to make a conscious decision because we easily make unconscious decisions. We just don't think about it sometimes. But the conscious decision, you understand, is identifying what we often refer to as flags. But I like to have 2 flags, not 3. Oftentimes we have what is a red flag and my personal favorite color, which is blue. So we're going to go with the red flag and we're going to go with my personal favorite color, blue. Now, what does that imply? What does that mean? Red flags, as we know, or have been taught, and as we've learned, they're things that alarmed you, that cause you to have distrust and not feel comfortable, possibly with someone. The thing is, do you may see them, but do you ignore them? Because some people don't. They don't see them, and some people just ignore them. Ooh, who is that on? Now, with that being said, please, if this is something you really have to take into consideration when you get into a relationship with anyone, is do you identify those flags as red or blue? Blue flags will allow you to feel that comfort, trusting with this person and interested in wanting to know more. So, did they give you the red flag that kind of turns you off, or did they give you the blue flag that kind of creates that excitement and just wants you to be you're just more interested and you want to find out more about this person and where could the relationship go. Most importantly, you have to know what is a flag to you, and then as yourself you have to ask him, why is this a flag to you? Why? Could it be their looks, something physical about the person, or could it just be their conversation, implying that it could be something mental or psychological, or the way you feel? You know what I mean? Just the way you feel in their presence when you're around them, something emotional. Red flag, blue flag. All right, let me continue again. So, another thing is that you want to focus on in getting to know someone is that person's maturity level. I often hear comments, when and you hear the if he were a real man or if he were not. That's one of those little twingy comments because what do you mean if he were a real man? I say that simply because he is a man no matter what, and he's real. However, the point is the level of maturity. How mature is he? Is he a man that could be 40 years of age and yet 4 years of maturity, or 50 years of age and 5 years of maturity? Or he could be someone really young that has, what would it be, years ahead of him in maturity, or vice versa if it were a young lady as well. I will continue just going with that though. So we talk about the person's maturity level, but we also want to talk about their relationship maturity level as well. Oh, key points. I'll be honest, I would not get into all of these. I would touch on them. But if there's any part in what I'm talking about that you may be a little bit more interested in, please drop a comment below and we can dive deeper into it somewhere down the line. In just getting this whole entire series out, which is, like I said, getting a clue, getting to, know someone, learn them, and I will not then, and also understand them as well. All right. So let me move on now. With that being said, how about this right here? What is their view on courting versus dating? What is their view? But let me say this also. What is yours? That's where it begins to start, you understand, in knowing what is the purpose in going into this relationship. Is there one or is there none at all? Courting versus dating. Again, are they just going for a ride, like a test drive, to see if things work out or if it goes anywhere? As and that's again, courting versus dating. As you get to know, as you get to know the person, you will either learn and get to see them either for what they say or what they do. This goes back to having a purpose as opposed to not. Now, I will touch a little bit on the whole aspect of courtship or courting versus dating. And this is just my belief and how I see it. And of course, I understand that you all may not agree. That's fine. But I will still share with you what I think and what I believe. Courting, to me, is having an intended purpose. And when I said purpose, you have to know what your purpose is. No one gets to know. You have to know what your purpose is. That means if your intent is genuine and if it is real, that means you look forward to, or should I say, you have a purpose in what you do. It's kind of like, and someone might say, well, that's dating with a purpose. Dating and courtship, I do and think intertwine. However, when you're courting someone, I feel that you're focused on that individual. When you're dating someone, you understand, you could possibly be dating other people too. Now, I'm not going to say that you couldn't make the attempt to have to court several people, but I would simply say this part right here. You can't, in courting, if you're courting one person, you'd be willing to give that person your attention, your time, you understand? But that would be that one person. In dating, you make the attempt of giving several different people your time and your attention. What I do not believe is that you can give multiple people, in a sense, all of you. That means you have to give them fragments, pieces of you, broken down individually. You have to begin to try to categorize them and think what you give to this person, what you give to the next, or do you try to be the same with them all? The point of it is you have to keep them divided. And that means if you have to keep them divided, you also have to keep yourself divided. You cannot give them all of you. With that being said, people, if there's anything of concern that I've touched on in this that may interest you, you'd like to hear a little bit more about, please let me know. We can continue from there, but that will be my time on this particular topic. And we will further, as I said, getting into the next two. Once again, that is my time today. I thank you for your time. I appreciate you. And hopefully, if you please enjoyed this video, tell someone, share it, like it, subscribe. And again, you can catch me right here on YouTube, or you can catch me in the podcast. I'd like to thank you all once again and just say, please do not forget to always take that first breath before getting started and before ending, whenever you need to. That is the one thing I believe about it. is always take it. Go in with yourself grounded, and no matter what, you come out grounded too. Thank you all once again. Bye.